Hey, welcome back. This is part 3 of our Antichrist Origins series, and today we're talking about the Gentile theory. So, let's get into it. Many Bible scholars point to the figure of Antiochus Epiphanes, a Greek king from the 2nd century BC, as an early preview or foreshadowing of the final Antichrist. Antiochus was a Gentile ruler who violently persecuted the Jewish people and desecrated the temple in Jerusalem, even setting up pagan worship inside God's holy place. Because Daniel's prophecies describe Antiochus as a prototype of a yet future enemy, many interpreters argue that the final Antichrist will mirror this pattern. If the pattern begins with a Gentile king who opposes God's people, then the ultimate fulfillment, they say, should also be a Gentile. This idea is reinforced by the larger structure of Daniel's visions. In Daniel, the rise of the Antichrist is symbolized by a little horn that emerges out of a sequence of beast kingdoms. These four kingdoms, Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome, are all Gentile empires that dominated Israel's history. In each vision, the little horn comes from within this chain of Gentile world powers. That creates a clear, consistent storyline. The final Antichrist rises from the same stream of nations that ruled over Israel throughout the prophetic timeline. Daniel 9 strengthens this Gentile connection even further. The prophecy speaks of a coming ruler who is linked to the people who destroy the city and the sanctuary. History shows that these people were the Romans, who destroyed Jerusalem and the temple in AD 70. Because the prophecy ties the future ruler to the same group, many scholars conclude that the Antichrist will arise from a revived form of the Roman Empire. Revelation gives another powerful set of clues that point toward a Gentile origin for the final Antichrist. In Revelation 13, John sees the beast, the figure most Christians identify as the Antichrist, rising out of the sea. In biblical symbolism, the sea often represents the chaotic world of the Gentile nations. Revelation 17:15 makes this connection explicit, saying that the waters symbolize peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages. In other words, the beast emerges from the broader world of the nations. The way Revelation describes the beast also ties him directly to earlier Gentile world empires. In Revelation 13, the beast is pictured as a composite creature with characteristics of a lion, a bear, and a leopard, images that come straight from the book of Daniel. Daniel uses those same animals to symbolize three major Gentile empires: Babylon, Persia, and Greece. By blending these features into one final figure, Revelation presents the Antichrist as the culmination of Gentile world power, a final intensified expression of the same nations that once ruled over Israel. He isn't a break from the history, but the climax of it. Revelation 17 adds another layer to this picture by describing a sequence of 7 kings. Many scholars understand these kings to represent the great Gentile empires that have shaped biblical history, leading all the way to a revived form of Rome. The beast is counted among them, placing him firmly inside the long line of Gentile imperial power. Again, the imagery consistently points toward the Antichrist arising from the nations rather than from the Jewish people. When these pieces are taken together, the beast coming from the sea, the composite imagery of Gentile empires, and his placement among the great Gentile kingdoms of Revelation 17, they form a unified picture. The Antichrist emerges from the world of the nations, standing as the final and most powerful ruler in the long arc of Gentile domination. Jesus also gives an important prophetic clue in Luke 21:24, where he says that Jerusalem will be trampled by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. According to many Bible teachers, this verse outlines a long, ongoing period in which Gentile powers dominate or exert control over Jerusalem and the Jewish people. This age began with the Babylonian exile and in various ways continues into the prophetic future. Within this framework, many interpreters see the Antichrist as the final ruler of this extended times of the Gentile. He becomes the last and most powerful leader in a long sequence of Gentile domination that stretches across history, from Babylon to Persia, to Greece, to Rome, and ultimately to the revived empire of the end times. In the end, the question of the Antichrist's origins remains one of the most debated topics in biblical prophecy. What remains clear is that Scripture presents a complex prophetic picture that invites careful study rather than quick assumptions. Whether one sees the Antichrist as Gentile, Jewish, or Muslim, the emphasis of the biblical authors is not on satisfying curiosity about his identity, but on calling believers to discernment, endurance, and faithfulness. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for part 4 of this series, where I offer my opinion on which of these 3 Antichrist origin theories holds the most weight. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with others interested in end times. God bless and be excellent to each other.